Marco.
Polo.
You definitely can't do kissing booth now with COVID.
Yeah. Whoa. What a nightmare.
You're just spreading it, man. Hi and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben.
And I'm Kay.
Today we are reviewing Kissing Booth 2.
In the sequel to 2018's The Kissing Booth, high school senior Elle juggles a long-distance relationship with her dreamy boyfriend Noah, college applications and a new friendship with a handsome classmate that could change everything.
This is a romantic comedy and it does exactly what it says on the tin. It knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
If you go into this thinking it's anything else but a teenage romantic comedy, and it's in the older, it's like the older version of the teenage romantic comedy, because where they're going to college, it's like university applications.
Yeah.
It's
They're older.
yeah, they're older, and they're doing older stuff.
Yeah. So for us where we live, high school ends when you turn 16.
Mm.
So the fact that she's a senior in high school and she's doing what she's doing, we're kind of like, what?
Yeah,
Wait,
I mean,
what?
but that's just the UK.
Yeah.
Suffice to say, this is exactly what you expect it to be. But also, I should say, if you go in this with that mindset that you know exactly what it's going to be, this film should make you happy.
Yes.
We've been reading some, I guess, fantasy novels recently, and
Yeah.
that's kind of put me in the romantic mood, I have to say. Although I am the romantic one, I like to say, in our relationship. But this film, I didn't mind at all. I thought it was going to really annoy me. And there were a lot of times I laughed. About halfway through, I was like, wait a minute, I'm really enjoying this film. And then there were the comedy moments I just didn't expect to laugh at. I didn't expect to like the characters as much as I did.
Yeah.
And I think partly that's due to the writing. It's actually quite funny and the characters are actually quite likable.
Yeah.
And so normally when it comes to this sort of film, I normally go along the route of, this is not my demographic, so it's not going to appeal to me because blah-de-blah-de-blah. When in actual fact, all films, regardless of what the genre is, or what the age is, if it's a good film, it should appeal to everybody or have something that you can enjoy. Like a Disney film, you know, that's obviously for kids, but now it's normally for all ages.
Everybody.
So there should be something for everybody in a film like this. And I was expecting, because I'm now in my late 30s, 40s,
Yeah.
early 40s, I was expecting this to totally just go straight over my head. But I have to say, there's a lot in this film that I really enjoyed. So I will talk about it in a bit after you have your say.
Yeah, you just went on and on there.
I
was
did,
like,
sorry.
I didn't think I was going to get a word in.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we talked about just as the movie ended was that we suddenly realised that the stereotypes that you normally find in high school sort of dramas, romantic comedies or whatever, you always have these cliques of people who are portrayed as very stereotypical. You've got the mean girls, you've got the goths, you've got the jocks, you've got all of that. Now you did have that sort of thing, but there were no bullies. And it was so refreshing. Like, I don't think that's a spoiler because yeah, it doesn't actually change the story at all. It doesn't give anything away, but it was just so refreshing. It was like watching a window into like how the world could maybe be. Like, what would it be like if people supported each other, if people were, you know, kind and caring? And
We sound so jaded.
no, I know, but seriously, it was like, you know, I just,
It's very Hollywood in
it's
that
totally Hollywood.
thinking, because there are moments where things happen that wouldn't happen in real life.
No.
But if you allow yourself to get swept up in that
Yeah.
motion, you'll feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Exactly. And you'll be like, oh, I wish life was really like this. Oh, it's so lovely. Also, as I was watching it, about sort of 10 minutes in, I was like, hang on a minute. I know that corridor. Hang on a minute. I know that ivy. I know that scenery. Yes.
Which it can get annoying because that's almost every single film you go, but that's definitely filmed in South Africa. That's
Yes.
definitely filmed in Cape Town.
But it is.
But it actually is.
Yes, it is.
And so that gets a bonus brownie point for us
Yes.
because obviously that's
And
near
that
where
last,
we grew up.
oh my goodness, the last scene, they drive along Chapman's Peak Drive. And I'm sorry, but if that is not the most beautiful thing in the world, I don't know.
Anyway, getting back to the film. There's a lot of interesting developments in characters here that you might not expect. And also, the story goes in a way that I totally expect, and then it didn't go in a way I totally expect, which I thought was quite fun. So it definitely has its tropes. It ticks all those boxes.
All of
You
it.
know what certain characters are going to do. But then it goes in a direction I was like, oh, okay, that's quite refreshing. They could have gone this way and done this thing with this new character, but they didn't do that, which I thought was really good. There were a lot of character development or dialogue that the way the characters are told that I kept saying to you, definitely as some really wise person or relationship guru person wrote a bit of wisdom into the script here, and I thought, wow, if people can take some of that knowledge away into their relationship, it'll be so good for people, because it works on things like communication, which is so key for a relationship, and I felt like they got some of that little bit of like golden nuggets in there, which I thought was great. There were also other things I was really surprised by, like some of the soundtrack, which is very 80s in places. There were like 2 or 3 2 or 3 songs from the 80s, which I really appreciated. It added a bit of nuance, not just your typical soundtrack that you get in these teenage rom-coms. Of course, there was music that you expect there to be in this film, but it also it had another level. And then they had these this game or games where they go and chill out, and there's Miss Pac-Man and there's stuff that's going on. Very similar to what was going on in the first film, but obviously there is something that's to do. A major part of this film is not the kissing booth. So if you're expecting it to be all around the kissing booth just because it's titled that way, there's other stuff going on in this film, which is nice. It's a bit refreshing. They couldn't have just copied it completely.
Obviously the kissing booth will come into it, because hence the title.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks. But I thought there was a lot more meat to this film than I was expecting. Maybe because I went in with such like a low expectation.
Yeah.
And you know, that it was just going to do everything. It's just going to tick all the romantic comedy boxes, and it definitely does that.
Yeah.
But I thought the characters were really likable. It's easy to watch. It's so easy, in fact, you might be surprised at the runtime. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes long, which is a long time for a romantic comedy. And I think some people will find issues with the length, because it does go on for a bit. But there's a lot that happens in this. If you think about the journey that the characters go through, some of them are in different locations for various parts of the film, and I'm really trying not to do spoilers.
Yeah.
And then they have to like meet up and sort out relationship issues again. And then there's another whole thing, and there's multiple arcs that just keep coming in, and there's drama llamas. There's a lot that goes on in this. So it's 2 hours and 10 minutes of runtime. They haven't skimped on your film, on your romantic drama. So if you're looking forward to this film, I think if you like the first one, you're gonna love this. And if you're a little bit like, I don't know, if you watch the first one and you knew what that was, this is that. It does exactly what you expect it to do, and I don't think it should do anything else, really.
Yeah. Indeed.
So, what are you going to give this?
Oh, I think I'm going to give this a B+.
I'm going to give this a B+ too. I'm very surprised by that.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments below what you thought about this film, or when you see it at least.
Yeah.
It comes out in a few hours. Hopefully I'll get the edit done in time. Thanks so much for watching this. If you've been wondering where I've been, I took a few days off to play Ghost of Tsushima. I've been samuraiing around and I've enjoyed the time, so don't worry. There will be reviews coming as usual. I just needed a break, so yeah. But most of all, until next time, remember,
Live, love, and Tuesday.